together, and that we have incredible people that's partnered with us and who's just taking our hands and elevating with us and who's always willing to help us. So tonight, I'm going to ask Nick to open the floor and welcome our super special guest tonight. So from my side, Henri, and from Henri's side as well, just want to say thank you so much for being on this call. For those of you watching the replay, this is a call not to be missed.
Yeah, thanks, Yolandi, and welcome everybody. Welcome to the call. Can I just ask everybody just to mute so we have some order here, because we have top leaders on the call here, and to get Mr. Aaron Decker on the call here, it takes a lot, but I'm only joking. He's never said no whenever we've asked him. He's been there for us, and we're very, very grateful to you. We've got Tammy on the call from Colorado Springs. We've got Nell and Tunya from corporate. We welcome you. I've got my two beauties next to me, flanking me, my two favorites, Henri and Yolandi. Welcome, Nigeria, brothers and sisters. We've got you all, Dubai on the call. We've got the whole world's on here. So welcome to the call, everybody. And I'd just like to welcome Aaron Decker on the call here tonight. All the way from the US, Aaron is a chairperson for those that don't know, top leader in PartnerCo. If you're watching the recording, you on the call and the person that's giving you this recording to listen cares about you, and he wants you to understand what this business is all about. And Aaron is going to share his wealth of knowledge and talk to us about the Powerline and the Payline. So, Aaron, over to you, mate.
Over to me. First of all, I want to know, Nick, how did you become the thorn between two roses? I want that job. You pulled one off there, my friend. I'll tell you what.
Listen, I've got a natural attraction. You know what I'm saying? I've just it's happened.
Definitely your charm, Nick. Definitely.
Now, excited to be here and share. And you know, I'm willing to share anything that can help all of you. And isn't it fun that we can, first of all, jump on a Zoom? And I apologize for all of you that are cold and don't have any heat or power. My goodness gracious. But isn't it amazing that we can, from around the world, jump on and build a community and get to know people halfway around or all the way around the world? So thank you for that. Nick, what can I share to add value? What direction are you going to ask me some specific questions and guide me? Do you want me to just talk? I want to serve you the best and give you the best information.
Okay, so firstly, when people join our business, and this is a common problem, not a problem, but a common confusion. We need to explain what Powerline is, the importance of Powerline and Payline, and why you need both. You know, so I think let's start with that, Aaron. Let's start with those two, the Powerline and the Payline, and once they start bringing in the people, in your opinion, what would you suggest how to place the first four?
Okay. All right. So first of all, let me just quantify it. And again, if you're watching this and this is maybe somebody shared this and you're just entering our industry, take it just a little bit at a time. If you've been here and you're somebody that's seasoned, well, then this might make a little bit more sense out of the gate, but it is a process. And to me, and one other thing, whatever you're doing for whoever your leader, your mentor is guiding you, that's working, never deviate from that. So I don't want anybody to stop anything that's working for them. I'm going to give you my opinion and share with you my perspective. And so first of all, the perspective for me is, what is a Powerline? What is a Payline? Right? Because I know when I got entered in this industry, I didn't know. I thought power, well, that must power something up. Pay, I'm going to get paid on. And I think sometimes that we have a misunderstanding. So it's really just terms used to talk about what we in our industry call volume, which is generated from sales, right? Products bought or sold creates volume.
Good evening.
Okay. And so that volume then is accumulated. And so you've got a line one and a line two. Now you could have more than that, but let's just talk about 2 lines. And so you've got what will become, one will be a power line. Well, that's simply the greater volume line. That's it. So for that week, whatever adds up through those sales that are generated through purchases or getting customers, right? It's going to total up, and there's going to be a volume amount attached to that number. Well, each week, the computer is going to look and say, hey, this has a greater amount of sales in it. This has a lesser amount of sales. Greater volume, lesser volume. Your power line will be the one that has the greater amount of volume. Your pay line is the lesser amount of volume. And I know what you're thinking right away. You're thinking, well, why am I getting paid on the lesser? Hold on. And this is why I don't like the term power and pay, because we do have other ways that you can get paid, which is match pay. So you can actually make money from a power line. So it's a misconception that, well, I don't want to put somebody in my quote unquote power line because I might not get paid. That's not true. In fact, I know people that make exceptional amounts of money from their power line. It's just one of the ways that we get paid. So Nick, I'm hoping this helps, because I want to make sure that people don't get wrapped up in, oh, I just want to work in my pay line. You want to work in both parts of your organization. Now, not to confuse anybody, but you can build wider, but you only have to ever have one greater line of volume. So I hope I haven't already confused you. Line 1, line 2, greater volume, it could be my line 1, greater volume could be my line 2. They could switch. But think about it. PartnerCo has the most lucrative pay system in the industry. Don't take my word for it. Look up Business for Home. Okay. So it's the most generous pay structure in the industry. It operates close to, or if not at 50%. Well, if you look at it like, okay, well, I'm going to build a business and I'm going to get paid on half of that. But if I get paid on this half and there's a little left over, so let's do some math. Let's say you have 1,000 volume points in your line 1 and 500 volume points in your line 2. You're going to get 10% of the lesser volume line in that line 2. 10% of 500 is what? By the way, this is US dollars, so I don't know what country you're, but US dollars is what I'm going to use. So you make $50 US. You're getting paid on 500. It's going to subtract that 500 from the 1,000. 500 will then start in that line 1 next week. Now, if you're with me, next week, maybe that line 1 stays stagnant for whatever, for our example. But line 2 gets 1,000. Well, guess what? You're going to get paid. You're going to get paid that 10% of the 500 here. It's going to subtract it from here. And your line 2 the following week will start with 500. Do you see how that switched? But ultimately, you're getting paid on all of it. Now, the goal. Let me do this. Let me put some stuff in the chat. How many of you are here and you want to make a pretty significant amount of money? In the chat, if the answer is yes, just put it there. And not everybody does. It's okay. Keeping in mind, think about what people, and significant, I use that word because significant is different to everybody, right? Significant to one person could be $300 a week. Significant to another is $3,000. Significant to another is $30,000. I don't know what significant is to you. But if you're here to earn a significant amount of money, I'm going to use roughly 150,000 to 200,000 US. To me, that's pretty significant, because most people that I know that have a traditional job, or even a lot of traditional business owners, their business might do more than that, but a lot of them, that's about what they're taking out, is 150 to 200,000. Well, here with PartnerCo, here's the goal. And I want you to think about this from this perspective. What if it took me, it doesn't have to take you this long. I'm just saying, what if it does? What if it took me and I focused on my line 1, and that's where I had my primary focus. And it took me a couple years to get that business generating enough weekly volume, meaning sales, right? through that entire organization where it was generating 20,000 volume points every week. And then it took me another couple years to get the other one generating that. Well, Nick, that's optimizing, right? That's $2,000 a week base pay plus bonuses. You're going to be right at $150,000 to $200,000 US. So what if it took you 4 years before you got there? How many of you would be willing to work in the nooks and crannies of your day consistently over time, not worrying about the week to week, but looking at the bigger picture of what's going to happen in the next 4 or 5 years, working on your own dream instead of somebody else's. And every week there's money dropped into your account, which totals somewhere in the neighborhood of $150,000 to $200,000 US. Would it be worth your time? Now, here's the thing. That's easy to say, it's hard to do. Why? I don't know. And I don't think there's a person, a trainer out there. There's not a book out there. It's something to do with you and I are wired, conditioned would probably be a better word, to be consistent working on somebody else's dream and helping them achieve their goal than our own. What do I mean? This is nothing against jobs, occupations, or even traditional business. But when somebody has a job, they're working for somebody that had a dream, that from that dream has a goal to make a certain amount of money, and they need more people to work for them so they can hit their goal or their dream. And you and I, because of the right to get that weekly paycheck, i.e. what we think to be secure or security, which isn't, but we will go to work how many times? We'll go to work every Monday through Friday. Some people now go to work Monday through Saturday. How many people do you know? How many people do you know that have ever been to work sick? Anybody know anybody that went to work? They just showed up because they were sick and they didn't have any sick days. How many of you have skipped kids' events because you had to go to work? Funerals, anything for family you've had to miss because, well, I got to go to work. What about missing out on fun? Somebody's going on holiday and you want to go, but you got to go to work. All that says what? Somebody else's, me working for somebody else and helping them get their dream is more important than me working for my own. And I know this, I've deviated from the Powerline Payline, but I need to get the mindset right, because the mindset is this. I need to drive a business, i.e. build teams of people that are selling products and gathering customers for products that deliver results. Who here, put in the chat if you or you know somebody that has had a positive health result with our products. Just put yes, right? Like Tammy could name you thousands. I don't know anybody that uses any of our products, right? I use them every day. It's constant. I'm on Zooms every day, and all I hear is these health benefits, right? So why wouldn't we want to promote that? And in doing so, we find people that want to promote it, right? Brand partners, brand ambassadors. That's what we are. Go build a team of brand promoters, brand ambassadors, and customers that start to generate sales. Please, I beg you not to get too wrapped up in, well, my Powerline has more volume than my Payline. Okay, that's good. Keep working with that business and then work on catching it with this business. Well, Aaron, they switched. That's okay. That's not a bad problem. That can be a good problem. That means you found somebody over here now that's working with you. Well, Aaron, they don't seem to be moving very much. That's okay. Focus and get one and drive one going. I'm going to give you some strategy in a minute, and I don't know how long we got. So I'm sorry, but I'm asking you to get out of Powerline Payline and realize my job is to drive both. And I get paid on both. In fact, I can get paid handsomely on both. And what the industry calls Powerline could make me more money than any other company that has a Payline. So, Nick, I'm sorry, I'll take a break and you can direct me where you want me to go, sir, but I do have some strategy that I'd be happy to share that's worked out well for us.
No, you're on the right track and we're enjoying it. Please don't let me stop you. Keep going. Keep
okay.
going.
So strategy-wise, And again, please, 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 because I know that you have great leaders that are on this call. And so but for me, and I like to prove out a theory. I don't like to teach it to my team or organization and see if it works. Does that make sense? And so what I found to be a good way and how I teach my personally sponsored people and how we personally build is the first two people. So let's just say that I got Bob. Bob just got started today. I want to teach Bob to put the first two people that Bob enrolls at the bottom of Bob's line one. No matter if there's anybody there or 1,000 people there, I do not care. And I'm going to walk you through exactly why each step of the way and why I believe statistically that it's in your favor, but more importantly, it's in the people that I bring to the table's favor. Remember, this isn't traditional business. We're not here to use people to make money. We're here to serve, support, and help people so then ultimately we can make money. It is opposite of what our industry gets perceived as. Okay, so why would I take my first two personally enrolled people and stick them at the bottom of my line one? Well, I want to build strength and stability. Typically, and again, I want those people to be strong. I want to go for my best person that I know, the most influential, the most charismatic, the best people or networked person. I want those people in my business, in my line one to start. And I'm going to teach them to do the same thing. Now, the next person, so my third person, Nick, I would stick at the top of my line two. I'm going to stop right there just for a moment. Why would I do that? I'm going to use statistics. In our industry, the statistic is the average person sponsors like 2.5 people. I don't know who the half person is, but I guess there's a bunch of half people running around here, but 2.5 people statistically. If that's true, now I don't know that that's true in our company, but if that's true industry-wide, I want to put the odds not just in my favor. I want the odds to be in the favor of the people that I just enrolled, the new brand partners. Well, if statistically I'm going to get 2.5, I'm going to put this person in. That person might get a couple people. I put my next person in. But both those people now are going to stick their first two people. My new people now have what? Activity, positive movement, volume. They've got growth. Growth tends to lead to more growth and more activity. I've got something moving. Remember what I said when I started? You got to have not a short-term mentality here. Get a little bit. How many years are you planning on working at a job or even running a traditional business? Don't think so short-sighted where if I'm not making X amount of dollars in my first 6 months or a year, this isn't working. That's not true. I know people that have worked a job for 30 years and it didn't work. They're still broke. I know business owners that have, after 30 years still have massive debt. So this is a business. Now, can you make money quickly? Yes, but have a long-term plan when you're building. Two people, statistics are in my favor. Now, if I'm better than average, that means I'm better than average. So if I'm just average and I only, Nick, ever got 2 brand partners and their opportunity for success now just increased exponentially with our match pay, I still have an opportunity to earn money on them because I could go get 2 customers, or maybe eventually I do get a couple other brand partners, or maybe I went ahead and came in ultimate and I qualified gold and I'm getting match pay on those 2 people that are now having success. Am I earning income? Yes. Do I want them to each make $2,000 a week? Yes. Think about that. I'm still earning even if I'm average and I found somebody that was above average, or I found a Tammy Maltby that's way above average, right? But now, Yolandi, if I get my third person and I stick it at the top of line 2, my line 1, I use a feed and support. I've now switched. My mind at first was all on line 1, where it's feed and support. Feed means personally enroll. Support means exactly what that word means, which is support them to help them do the same. But now I go to the top of my line 2. I personally enroll someone. What am I going to teach them? The first 2 people that they get, where are they going to go? At the bottom of their line 1. Well, that happens to be what? My line 2. I'm supporting the 2 that I got over here and the team that's growing over here, and I'm starting to feed. When I say feed, they might have personally enrolled 2, and then I just got my 4th one. Where does that go? Under their 2. What did that just create? Activity. What does activity breed? Activity. Progress. All of a sudden now I've just duplicated the same process. What do those 2 people do? Well, they're going to put their first 2 where? At the bottom of their line 1, which is under my 2nd personally enrolled. What just happened? My person's like, wow, I haven't got anybody on my team yet, but I've already got 4 people on my team. What do? They put their first 2 at the bottom of their line 1. If they're better than average, they start their line 2. Well, if you're better than average, you're better than average. That means that chances are, if you can get 3, you can get 4. Which means you're doing what? You're creating activity that's going to light a fire going up the line. Does that make sense? And then it's a feed and support. So think about feed and support. Well, Aaron, I'm way better than average. I just got another person. I'm on my 5th person. Where do I place them? Well, look at your volume in line 1. Look at your volume in line 2. Remember, greater volume, I'm supporting. Lesser volume, I'm feeding. Well, my line 1 is lesser. My line 2 is really taking off. Great. You got your 5th person, put it at the bottom of your line 1. Why at the bottom? Because look at all those people that just got some activity. I just got another one. Where do I put it? Look at your business. Greater volume, lesser volume. Hey, I'm going to feed the lesser volume. I'm going to support the greater volume. I'm not going to let the greater volume line go. I want that to grow. Why do I want it to grow? I want it to grow where I never have to worry, not just about me, but all of the people that I'm supporting. I want that business to get rocking, where it's just constant sales, constant products, constant new brand partners. Well, what if I build line 3, line 4, line 5? I could make more money. It'll be better for me. I don't know. Because who's going to create the activity in that line, and then in that line, and then in that line? What if you and I have this partnership mentality and we say, hey, let's all just work together. We'll go first 2 people at the bottom of line 1. If I'm better than average, I'm going to start to build my line 2. Better than average is better than average. That means I can probably get my 3rd person, my 4th person, maybe my 5th or 6th, but I'm going to support both lines. I'm going to constantly feed the lesser line to make sure that there's activity. The last little thing that I'll say about this, and then you ask me any question, is when we do that and you want to get something growing, anytime that I start to focus on a line and I want to create a fire, even if there's people and there may be some of you that, got started here and then some changes happened and all of a sudden Aaron, I've got all these people and they're not doing anything. That's okay. What I like to do is I put them on a little text blast or a messenger blast. And I then, if I want to get that line going, Ginger and I will sit here and we'll make a strategy and say, okay, we're going to go on a personal little blitz, let's say 30 days, and we're going to go sponsor 10 people. And we're going to put all 10 at the bottom of that line, whatever that line may be. Every time that we put a brand partner or a customer or any volume in there, we text, congratulations, Nick, you just had a new brand partner in Alabama get started. Congratulations, Yolandi, you just had a new ultimate team pack 1,500 points or 200 points or 500 points. You just had new volume. And we text everybody up that line. We let them know that activity's happening. One of 2 things always happens. Rarely does somebody say, take me off your list. It happens once in a while. But then for me, I'm grateful because then I know that they are just not interested. But typically what happens is, depending on how many people you're texting, but let's just use 10, 2 typically will ultimately respond and say, what does this mean for me? I say, oh, well, you've got a bunch of money sitting there. All you got to do is let me help you start to build your line 2, and we can go capture it. Because what it does is it hits somebody at the right time. Here's what I mean. I can't tell you how many times I've texted somebody, hey, congratulations, you just made $450. So here in the US, we're a little bit different, but Ultimate Pack's a lot more. And I'm like, or I'll say, hey, what are you doing? I'm at the gym. Why? Congratulations, you just made $450. What do you mean? Well, a new teammate just joined your business. Congratulations, you just made $50. What do you mean I just made $50? Somebody just joined your team. Right? So again, what happens is they're like, but I've been distracted. Then it's not me telling them they need to work. They're asking me if they can work. That's when you get the people that raise their hand and hey, they're serious because they're reaching out to you. All I did is take the time really quickly to let them know, hey, I'm fulfilling my obligation. I am actually being responsible for the sponsorship, and I'm going to do what I said, which is continually serve, support, and help you. And at any time that you choose to raise your hand and say, hey, I'm ready to work, I'm going to be right there, and I'm going to work lockstep, partner with you, and go to work. So, Nick, I hope that helped.
Yeah, great nuggets there, Aaron. Absolutely amazing. I love that. The texting thing, form what do they call it on WhatsApp? A broadcast group, and you send out the messages on your broadcast group. You put all those on the Power and the Payline. That's a great idea. Great idea.
Yeah. So I separate them, right? So it's just, and what I like to do is we just work at the bottom of that line, and then we make sure everybody knows that, hey, there's stuff going on. There's stuff going on. There's stuff going on. Because, and I don't like the cliche, but it's true. We'll work harder because we might lose out than we will for opportunity. I'm going to say that one more time. You and I will work harder. It makes no sense. We'll work harder if we think we're going to lose out than going for an opportunity that is limitless. I don't know why, but we do.
It's fact. Oh, have you got any questions? Put your questions in the chat or unmute and ask the questions. We've got Aaron here. We've got 5-7 minutes left. Any questions? No questions, a stupid question. Ask your questions. So,
any advice for a new person?
Hi, Aaron.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm from Dubai. I have a few questions. Well, one in particular. So I'm building a team in Nigeria, but I'm also looking to build a team here in the UAE. Where should I consider putting the people from the UAE and from my other areas? Should I be placing them underneath the team in Nigeria, or should I be using my other lines to do specific countries in specific lines, if that makes sense?
Okay, this one I'm going to be really cautious because I know a lot of people teach different things. And so you asked me, and so I'm going to give you my opinion only, right? Because what I never want to do is have some of the leaders say, that's not how I teach. And so please listen to whoever you're working with, but you asked me the question, so I'll answer it and again give you my opinion. In my opinion is each case is a little bit different. So Sarah, if you've got a business and you're growing 2 lines and you've got some Nigeria, business growing, and you've got some Dubai business growing, and you're like, well, I've got a new personal person in Dubai, but my Nigeria really could use the volume and the support, I would then place it there. Unless, here's the exception. Unless they have a relationship with somebody else, maybe their neighbors, their cousins, they didn't know it, or they've built a relationship, right? So relationship sometimes trumps placing. Family sometimes, so there's some caveats in my process, right? Like if Tammy's my cousin, and Tammy and I know a bunch of people together, and I enrolled Joanne is my first person. And I've got a couple other people that are getting ready to come in. I might take Tammy and put Tammy on my line too, because we're family and we know a bunch of the same people. And I've got some other people that are getting ready to come in. Does that make sense? So when it comes to countries, for me, it's not so much, oh, this country has to be in this line and this country has to be in that line. Quite the opposite. As our Nigeria group grows, we're going to start to look at what group is growing the most. And then I'm going to go and stick people from the US and help them get a US business in that, because then it helps to diversify their business, right? It's hard, especially early on. And I understand that. And I know a lot of you are thinking, well, it's easy because you're sitting here. Yeah, but I'm sitting here because of what I'm teaching, right? And it's I gotta be thinking about what's best, because what keeps people engaged in our business is their success, not yours. And it's not just a cute phrase that you stand in front of the room and share. It has to be part of the DNA of how you build, in my opinion. And if you build with others' best interests, i.e. their best financial interest in mind, as you grow, you can't go wrong. Does that help? Sorry about the noise out there.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. That's a great help.
So Aaron, we
Yes,
have
sir.
a question in the chat. Is there an advantage or disadvantage growing 2 or 3 legs?
Okay, again, my opinion. If you grow 3 lines, you're going to earn a little bit more faster. But my personal opinion is it's a lot less stable. And again, that's just Aaron's opinion. Okay. And what I mean by that is, I'm going to use some numbers here, and numbers don't always mean anything, but I'm just going to try to paint a picture for you. Let's say I've got 10 people in my line 1, and I've got 5 people in line 2, and I put 5 people in line 3. Okay. Does that make sense? And let's just assume, and I don't like to do that, but for this example, let's assume everybody's working. Which line should grow faster? The one with 10, right? That'll have the most activity. Well, if my line 2 and my line 3 each have 5 people, but now they stop working and they stop working, or they stop, all but one's working here and all but one's working here. So I've got 1 in line 2 and 1 in line 1 working. How do I get them motivated? I then have to go and start to create that fire, right? Am I strong enough to support my line 1 and start to feed line 2 and feed line 3? Or would it be better if I had combined 10 and now 10, and now I'm just balancing 2 lines? I'm not trying to go 3 or 4. Now, ultimately, as those start to drive, Nick, and again, here's where the pace system is fun, is the wider you go, the more you make, ultimately. But go back to this. I got to know, what would you be really happy with if I asked all of you, there's 33 people in the Zoom, could you be happy? Would it make a financial difference in your life if you had 2 lines only that were optimizing each week and you were making somewhere around $150,000 to $200,000 a year? Is that going to help you financially?
Absolutely.
And if you say yes, then why would you jeopardize that and trying to go for a shorter term? Because you're spreading yourself too thin, in my opinion. Now, can it be done? Absolutely. And I'm never going to hold anybody back. But my thing is, make the 200 grand. And then if you want to go build a 3rd line, then it kind of doubles, right? But it's work. But you're not really helping yourself by going wide. You're not helping your teammates by going wide, in my opinion. You're helping by driving depth, and you want to capture all of that, and you want as many people to be successful as possible. So I hope that answers your question.
And then the last question here, isn't optimizing your actual what you want to do? Because you can start another line under somebody else's line. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
that's a whole other level, right? But again, I'm gonna go back to this, right? Because there's placements, re-entries, there's all kinds of crazy fun stuff. But for 99% of us, none of that matters. I'm gonna go back to, does $150,000 to $200,000 a year extra in your life, meaning you wake up. I'm gonna share this story because it's impacted my life, because it was a great reminder the other day, and I hope this helps. Yesterday, I'm in shorts, I'm walking out. It was just a beautiful day here. And I've been blessed to create a life that I don't need a vacation from. Okay, so truly, we live on a ranch, we're blessed. And the Amazon driver comes, that's our delivery guy, right? So he comes in here and he rolls down his window and he yells across the yard as I walk across the yard. He says, "I want to be you when I grow up." And I kind of looked at him, I'm like, what? He says, "Every time I come down here, it doesn't matter the day, it doesn't matter the time. You're always around, and it looks like you're always happy, and you're just enjoying your life. I want to be you when I grow up." And it took me back to 20 years ago when I got introduced to this industry, and I listened to a CD. I forget the gentleman's name, but there was a phrase that's always stuck with me, and it said, "Some people's some days are other people's every days." I'm like, huh, what's the difference? Well, the person who created every day of other people's some days, they invested heavily with time, activity, in performance, right, in progress. And so they did that in a short, or for me, it was a long, I was a very slow learner here. But I didn't give up, and I stayed consistent. But also the prize is someday I'm going to dictate what I do with my day. I'm not going to have somebody else do that. And when that delivery driver said that, it hit me. I'm living the dream I had 20 years ago. I'm living the dream of when I used to lay down in the middle of the field and cry because I didn't think that I had what it takes to do it in this industry. I didn't think that I could go on. I didn't think that I was cut out for this. I didn't think that it would work, because everybody around me says it's not going to work. You're stupid. Who do you think you are? But see, the delivery driver reminded me, I'm living the life that I dreamed of. And it went on to remind me that, we've got a shooting range down here, and I've got horses. And yesterday I had more fun setting stuff up and having friends come down here and enjoy what we've created. I love to serve. That's the life I created. I created a life where I get to serve and I get to enjoy. More enjoyment for me than actually doing the activity is serving and having others do the activity. So anyway, you guys, I hope you're getting some value out of this, but please keep this simple. Drive your business. Aaron, Powerline, Payline. Listen, lesser volume, greater volume. Feed the lesser line, support the greater. If they switch, support, feed. If they switch, support, feed. Stay in constant communication. Be responsible for those people that you start as a brand partner. Be responsible for those that become customers. Follow up, follow through. This is your business. Whose dream are you going to work harder for? Someone else's or your own? Whose goals are you going to hit? You're going to help somebody else hit their goal? Or are you going to start to make a determination that you're going to hit yours?
Amazing. Wow. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Henri.
Yeah, thanks. I think Aaron, you and Dr. Ginger are such inspiration for us. And every time I listen to the two of you and to you now just on this call as well, just made me realize once again, we need to go back to the why. We need to sometimes remind ourselves that once we were the Takealot guy or the Amazon guy in the car, and we were looking at other people and we thought, I want to be that. And what an amazing place for us to be, because we're one step closer to that. We are one step closer on changing our lives. And I remind myself every single day that we are still actually in Africa, we are still building, and we are still, making this path. But these people going to look back 20 years from now, and we're going to go, we took the first steps, and we had people like you, who servant leaders, that helped us to tour this road and make generations after us smile and look back and say, listen, this was all so worth it. So thank you so much for your time, and it was so powerful. I'm sure everyone took something of this, and I know that I did. I had a whole list of things that I'm going to take back to my to-do list tomorrow. Jan, thank you so much for just blessing us with your wonderful words tonight. So Jan, thanks to my partners, every single one on here, that we can do this together. And some days might be a bit harder than other days, but you know what? At least we are a group of people all across the world to get up and say, we are doing this. So thank you so much for being amazing.
I couldn't agree more with you, Henri. Like I said when we started the call, it is so amazing to know that we are sitting globally, connecting with each other, and it's strangers who became friends, and friends who became family. And it just to know that everybody is, just like you said, servant leaders who's always willing to reach out with their hand and pull you up. And tonight's call was so amazing, and it just gives you that reassurance again that you are purposely placed where you are supposed to be, and that you should just run with it and keep faith and know what you're working towards. And one day your driver is also going to come past and say they wish they have your life. And that is just so amazing. So Aaron, thank you so much. Also for Tammy, who's our upline in the USA, we just want to say thank you so much for, connecting with us tonight. We absolutely adore all of you, and it's amazing to be partnered with you.
Yes, Aaron. And from my side, thank you very much. And thank you to all the leaders on the call here, Tammy, Yulani, Henri, and everybody else on the call here today. Just remember, if you've just started in the business with us, this is what we're all about. You don't pay anything for this. It's all free. The leaders are there. We are all there to share our knowledge, to share our experiences, and to share. Tomorrow night, we have an amazing, amazing call again. We have our global brand partner, owner, co-owner on the call here with us tonight again tomorrow night at 8 o'clock South African time, John Wordsworth. So let's be on the call. Let's support the call. Tell the rest of your teams to be on the call. More nuggets will be shared. These are the leaders that we've got access to, that we'll have on the calls for everybody. Nell, thank you again for always being there by our side. We love you. We thank you. And we're great to have corporate on the ground right next to us with whatever we want, whenever we want. And Aaron, as usual, thank you so much. It was great seeing you again. You shared amazing and awesome nuggets. I took notes. I'm going to implement the notes. I'm super pumped up again. Let's go. Yes, that's it. Yolanda's got books full already. So let's go out and get them. You know what? Southern Africa, we've been around. We've been doing this for 18 months since we launched. You know what? We're still launching. And we are the early adopters. We've got the first mover advantage. Let's use that advantage, see the opportunity. And our brothers and sisters in Nigeria up north, we're there, right there with you, every step of the way. Let's do this for Africa. And we have just started. We haven't seen the end yet. So thank you, guys. Take care. That's my story, Aaron. Thank you so much again. Take care. Love to Ginger, and we'll have you on again soon. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, sir. God bless.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Aaron. It was beautiful. Great training. Good night. Good night, Africa.